Now, when the 9/11 attacks happened, first responders from all over rushed to New York City, including a group of Philadelphia police officers. And Fox 29, we were with them at Ground Zero.
They are under a tremendous amount of emotional stress here, and you can see over time that's going to wear them down at some point. They need some rallying points here to keep their morale going and keep their adrenaline high.
Now, that was Sergeant Greg Masi back in 2001, 21 years ago. After 4 decades with Philly Police, Sergeant Masi began volunteering with Philly Fire's Second Alarmers, where he's now Chief Masi, and joins us here to kind of look back. And good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bill.
Appreciate you doing this. We were just talking during the break. It's hard to fathom. It's been 21 years, yes?
Yeah, 21 years is just, I mean, for me, we all remember where we were at, but I can specifically that morning going to work, and when it occurred, I mean, I think we were all kind of like stunned, like what's happening in our country. And as soon as we realized that we were under attack, the city of Philadelphia activated their emergency operations center, and that was my expertise, being in the 911 center communications. So I had to go with other city officials and man the operations center. But throughout the entire day, all of us realized that we didn't know what was going to happen next. We didn't know. We knew that the Pentagon was hit. We realized later on with Shanksville, but there was, believe it or not, there was actually an unaccounted aircraft that was headed to Philadelphia from Paris that apparently, I guess they called it a transponder, wasn't working. They couldn't locate it for a while, and Philadelphia being the birthplace of the nation, they thought maybe we were a potential target. Fortunately for us, they did get a hold of the aircraft and it made a safe landing, because the FCC have made a ground stop on everybody.
We've spent so much time kind of reflecting, but obviously I'm not a first responder, but I would imagine in the moment, you're just kind of doing what you were trained to do. So how different is it now looking back on what you experienced versus what you actually experienced?
So, you know, one of the things I was humbled at the time, didn't realize it, but as the years progressed, you know, when we were summoned to go up there, at the time, the police commissioner was John Timoney.
Yeah.
John Timoney came from New York City. He was a chief of the department. So after the incident occurred, he put a small team together of individuals with different backgrounds. My background was communications, and I was wondering why he selected me, but I found out later on why. But we went up to New York, and when I came back and I had a chance to reflect, at the time our department was like 7,000 people. There was only 4 of us who were sent up initially. I was kind of humbled that I was one of the ones that was selected. And my expertise in communications, one of the things people realize that when this incident occurred in New York, police and fire couldn't communicate with each other because a lot of the equipment was on the World Trade Center rooftops.
Yeah.
It presented a problem for them just because it was such a wide footprint. And Philadelphia at the time was just getting ready to plan a new digital radio system for this city. When we came back and we presented our finances, the most important thing, we can't put all our eggs in one basket.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because we had several members of our team who were there, and they told similar stories. You just couldn't communicate with each other, and trying to do everything you had to do, basically with no real communication, made it that much more challenging. 20 plus years later, we've heard a lot of stories about people who have suffered the after effects, medical conditions. Personally, how are you?
So, as you know, the Congress, they developed the World Trade Center Health Program, and they're, right now, I think it's funded to 2075. It's important because when I came back, it wasn't until a few years later where I started suffering some respiratory issues, but I attribute it to being old, getting old. I'm getting these respiratory issues. And then at the time, I guess it was Mayor Bloomberg from New York City, he sent a letter to then Mayor Nutter and said, listen, all your responders, we want them to get into the program and get checked. I kind of shunned it because I felt this is part of aging. It wasn't until I had a lot of encouragement from some FDNY people that I maintained a friendship with to just get checked out. When I did, I found out that a lot of my respiratory problems were coming from 9/11, and that had to be certified by 9/11 doctors. And the tragic piece is what's happening today. We know the loss that occurred that 21 years ago, but 9/11 is still taking many lives as of today.
We have to, and Chief, thank you for coming in. We often say never forget. Unfortunately, people do. And so we need to continue to reflect, continue to honor and respect, and continue to thank you, for what you did then and what you continue to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bill.
We appreciate you.